rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I am your host, Rick. One of my auto firing mechanisms didn't fire, which means that I'm going to have to separate the video and audio after I'm done. That's kind of weird. Anyway, for the audio portion of the program, all right, well, that'll just take a little extra second or two for, a little bit of extra time for me to post that tonight. So, anyway. All right, folks. You know, we've all known that the Democrats have been pulling our legs when it comes to things like free speech. We all know that the Democrats have, they say they want everyone to have free speech. But if COVID and the Biden administration demonstrated anything to anyone, you really should understand that it was a demonstration of just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg of the things that the Democrats would want to do to the Constitution and America. Now, free speech has been a stalwart, constant, and one of our fundamentals. It's in the First Amendment as a part of our Bill of Rights. It is in number 1, along with a few other very important pieces that are there. And apparently, well, first of all, I just got to say, I kind of wish Obama would just go away. I mean, Obama literally just needs to, fade back into the background like George H.W. Bush did, George W. Bush, Clinton. Even Clinton doesn't show his face very often anymore. But for some damn reason, Obama is like a rash that no one can get rid of, because he just constantly shows up on the pundit circuit, on these shows, on all of this stuff. And he sits there, and the same thing with Hillary Clinton, although she's never been president, so you can't really blame her for keeping to show up, because she has to show up and say, it was stolen from me, the whole 2016 election. But Obama and the habit of presidents, past presidents, pretty much once they're done with their presidency, they sort of like disappear. And occasionally you might see them pop out, for like fundraising events or something along those lines. They'll pop out for fundraising events and that, and they show up, to do some of these things, these other things that are out there. But it's just weird. Obama just shows up, goes on these podcasts, goes on these things, these events, these shows, and everything else, and just sort of, starts to say the reality, the stuff that he really wanted to do out, in terms of being president, and where he really wants the country to go. I got something on that tonight. Plus, I've got a couple morons. Yes, the moron files are back. I've got a couple of morons for tonight's show as well. So let's go ahead and get things kicked off. If you are of mind, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one like me, and follow along with Judge Wild as Judge Wild recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh yeah, hoorah!
All right. And of course, I thank you, Judge Wild, for submitting that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, attach it to an email address or an email. Send it off to me. Send it to the address fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. I'm looking for number 21, and of course, following on that, 22, because all of my Whiskey Warrior P1s know I like even numbers. So, yeah, 21 and 22. Get them in. If you're doing it on your phone, apparently you can use the share option. You can click share, and that will allow you to send it off to me. Same place. Fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. All right. Let's get to tonight's headline sponsor, which is the Institute on the Constitution. The Institute on the Constitution was established in 2004 as a 501c3 nonprofit with one singular mission, and that is to restore the constitutional republic through grassroots education. All courses and materials are developed using primary source documents and taught from the American view of law and government as defined in the Declaration of Independence in the following 3 key points. 1, there is a God. 2, our rights come from him. And 3, the purpose of civil government is to secure and protect our God-given rights. The IOTC offers the opportunity to educate yourself on our most precious founding document, the Constitution of the United States. They also provide tools to educate your community and get involved with local government. Start by taking their free U.S. Constitution course and go from there. Use my affiliate link, iotc.americanperspective.online, to sign up, and while you are there, take a moment to look through their other course material and information. My affiliate link, once again, is iotc.americanperspective.online to get great content and to learn about our historical founding and support the show in the process. That's iotc.americanperspective.online. Or, if you just want to purchase this fabulous Saddleback leather-bound U.S. Constitution, you can go to constitution.americanperspective.online. Each purchase of the aforementioned book will cause a liberal to have miscellaneous gastrointestinal dysfunctions. You know, I think 3 Chevy puts those up there because he tries to make me screw up, and boy, you got it tonight. Just not on the words that you thought. Anyway, let's take a look at this thing. We've got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. Don't forget the binding, folks. No cheap glue here. It is stitched all the way through the leather and the pages contained within. It's got a 100-year warranty against materials and manufacturing defects such that if something does go wrong, you can send it back to the manufacturer and they will either fix it or replace it for free. It is, rest in peace, my friend, buddy tested, buddy approved. It is Billy tasted, Billy approved, and my youngest whiskey warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to achieve your civics badge in scouting. It will also help you to pass that civics exam. You may even be taking it for the naturalization test, which you should be encouraged to do so. Get a copy, just not only to study, but to carry around with you, because you should be proud of the fact that you've become an American. I even threw myself off. Go to constitution.americanperspective.online to get yours today. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Institute on the Constitution's offerings, as they have some fantastic stuff in their repertoire, and you can go and check it all out. And, of course, I thank them for allowing me to be a brand affiliate. Oh, tonight's going really, really well. Anyway, all right. Well, apparently the Senate has decided that they have had enough with Trump's using the emergency order to impose tariffs, because the Senate has passed a bill now to end that. It is basically a bill to revoke the national emergency declaration that is being used by Donald Trump as the legal basis for his reciprocal global tariff measures. They voted 51 to 47 on October 30th in favor of Joint Resolution SJ Resolution 88 that was introduced by none other than a Democrat, Senator Ron Wyden. Well, folks, if you have any kind of sense of math here, then you would know that they couldn't have gotten it passed without some Republican help. And they got it by 4 Senate Republicans. I'm going to give you a option on the last one, but the first 3 out of the 4 that I will name are Susan Collins of Maine, Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Who do you think is the 4th one? Let me just say, who do you think is the 4th one? I mean, he doesn't vote with the Republicans at all. He really doesn't. I mean, he's against, Ms. T with the win. That's right. Ms. T with the win. Rand Paul. I swear that guy is like, I swear he is not a Republican. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Anyway, he just freaking, He never votes for anything that actually, I don't know. It is like, Yeah, I liked him for a while, but I'm seriously starting to question whether or not he actually is for the American people or not. just saying. Anyway, the latest vote came shortly after the upper chamber supported a bill to repeal the president's 50% tariff on Brazilian imports entering the United States. 5 Republican senators reached across the aisle and voted with their Democratic colleagues on the 28th, resulting in the final tally of 52-48 then. Anyway, yeah, these people are just, yeah. Senator Mike Crapo, that's right. I don't think I'm announcing this name incorrectly here. Mike Crapo, C-R-A-P-O, from Idaho, was speaking on the Senate floor, and he stated that these kinds of legislative measures are counterproductive to helping the United States. He said it's no secret that for decades, countries around the globe have raised tariff and non-tariff barriers against Americans and against American businesses, and have raised costs for Americans and American businesses without response by the United States. Yep, so there you go. He said Trump is now responding and saying these countries need to take down their tariff and their non-tariff barriers to deal with us in fair and free trade. Now, Mitch McConnell got up and said that levies are harming the United States. He said in a statement, tariffs make both building and buying in America more expensive. The economic harms of trade wars are not the exception in history, but the rule. And no cross-eyed reading of Reagan will reveal otherwise. And of course, he's saying that in terms of this, he is saying that he's kind of taking a direct shot at Donald Trump, who was saying that Reagan was for tariffs. Reagan wasn't exactly for tariffs. I mean, not as, he wasn't exactly for them, but you got to understand, you may not necessarily be for them, but you do need to understand that they are a useful tool in the toolbox to use when necessary. I mean, let's be honest, tariffs on some place like, China would be fantastic. Whereas tariffs on somebody like, Canada or England or, pretty much any of our allies are probably not the smartest thing in the world to do. And it's not like I've been 100% behind Trump's tariffs. I've been sort of holding my breath and waiting and seeing. And there really hasn't been like the doomsday kind of scenario with the tariffs, like what everybody was saying was going to happen. But that being said, they also aren't necessarily, causing things to be 100% great all over the place. But Trump's the president, so he can go ahead and do what needs to be done. But anyway, so there you go. The Republican-controlled Senate also voted on October 29th against Trump's authority to implement additional tariffs on Canada. And again, there's the four. Collins, McConnell, Murkowski, and Paul all joined with the Democrats, with the vote coming in at 50 to 46. So, obviously the Senate is not happy at this point. Frankly, I really am not impressed with the Senate at all. But hey, there you go. All right. By the way, too, don't forget, there is that SCOTUS case that is being argued sometime in the near future, if it hasn't been oral arguments already. But there is that SCOTUS case on tariffs that is coming up. So we're going to have to see what happens when they issue their final opinions on that. Which, of course, that case has to deal with the fact of whether or not Trump can actually use the National Emergency Declaration to impose all of these tariffs without approval from Congress. And I would basically, in terms of the constitutionality of it, there's nothing against it. It doesn't say that the president can't be, given that power in special circumstances, because while Congress has the ability to do so themselves, they also went ahead and passed off emergency declarations to the presidency, knowing that the president is the only one that actually spends 100% of their time in session. And so that's part of the reason why some of these emergency orders and some of these emergency declarations and stuff are made available by Congress. Again, constitutionally, it should be Congress that's the one that's making these things, but they did give him, meaning the president, the opportunity, or the ability, I should say, to make these national emergency declarations. So, I don't know. We'll just have to kind of see where that goes. All right. Well, here is the Moron Files. Number one of the Moron Files. Yes. And what's really cool about this is Scott Jennings is actually part of this. He is not the moron, by the way, but he is a part of this. Now, I can't launch the Scott Jennings truth bomb because he doesn't really drop a truth bomb here, but his facial expression, and you can probably, you'll be able to hear it in his voice too, is all 100%. So they were on a panel, a CNN panel, of course, and one of the gentlemen who joined the panel was an obvious Biden supporter. He just sort of started talking out his rear end, his rear orifice. And, let's just, let's just see what occurred and how this happened. Take a listen.
He was, I think we all acknowledge, and the reporting is very clear, in severe cognitive decline. And so the committee the committee, you don't agree he was in cognitive decline?
I do not, because there's no medical evidence to say that. Now, that's a political talking point for some of you on the right, but there's no evidence to point to that. Dr. Scott.
Do you know?
Dr. Scott, do you have evidence?
Do you know why the president's physician took the Fifth Amendment before the committee?
No, the same reason why Republicans have taken the Fifth Amendment under oath.
Listen, if you're here to argue the sharpness of Joe Biden, I commend you on your effort.
I'm not here to argue that. I'm just saying there's no medical evidence to point there was some cognitive decline.
Do you have eyes and ears? I think you do.
I do.
Okay.
The same eyes and ears that saw
and here's
that
the
this
thing.
president prevented a government shutdown during his time. We talked about the bipartisan legislative agenda that he put together. So I do have eyes and ears, and you do too.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, I don't know who this guy's, I mean, honestly, I don't know who this guy's trying to kid here. I mean, let's be completely honest here. Especially after the, especially after the disaster of a debate that was there. Yeah. And I don't even know who this guy is. Even the article that I got this from in Town Hall is basically like, I don't even know who this guy is. But anyway, how could you not have seen? Dude, the man was talking to people from beyond the grave in front of all of the press. He was getting confused, trying to figure out, even just like walking through the White House. He was getting confused walking on stage in front of people where he was given clear instructions by the Secret Service. The man would get totally confused in interviews. That's why they didn't do it, especially toward the end. And, I'm surprised that he didn't actually break down during some of his speeches. I don't know what kind of drugs they were, giving him in the arm or in his IV or whatever it was, but Joe Biden was clearly a bit of a problem. I mean, dude, man, I'm just going to say this. He was at dignitaries in Europe watching a demonstration of parachuting, and the man turned around and walked off, going towards God knows where, the other bushes or whatever, and had to be wrangled by the Italian, prime minister or whoever, the Italian dignitary who was attending the same thing, and brought back to the group and point to, hey, look, sir, you got to look over here, look over there. The man read directions on the teleprompter. He would cap his day some days at noon. He would shut down the White House at noon because he had to go sleep. Now, some of that is due to his age. But realistically, it's like, where the hell have you been? What do you mean who the hell cares if there's documented medical evidence? We all saw it with our eyes. We all saw it. Oh my gosh. Now, for those of you who are going to be on the audio portion of the program, all I can tell you is the incredulousness of Scott Jennings' voice was reflected in his visage, meaning his face. Wow. Talk about a complete and utter stupid moron. Ooh, boy. Well, but that's not the only one. We have moron number 2. Yes, moron number 2. I can't even begin to pronounce her last name, but she apparently is a left-wing influencer, they called out. She's a former Media Matters propagandist. She is now a Democrat candidate for Congress. And, now, according to the indictment, because she is under indictment, according to the indictment unsealed on Wednesday, she and 4 other activists conspired to prevent by force, intimidation, and threat a federal officer from carrying out his duties during a September 26th demonstration outside an ICE detention facility in Broadview, Illinois. Now, we've seen all of these images and stuff coming out, and I've got here. Well, first of all, let me just explain or show you. I'll start with what she did. So, here. So here she is. She's identified as the woman in braids here. She's in braids, and for those that can't see, I'm just going to point this out. She's standing in front of what is assumed to be an ICE vehicle. The video doesn't necessarily show the entire frame because obviously this was shot on a phone. Okay, but she's standing in front of this truck, SUV, whatever it is, and she is basically, well, shall we say, it looks like she's blocking them, attempting to block them from leaving their facility. So let's go ahead and take a quick listen to this video.
Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down, down with deportation! Down, down with deportation! With liberation! With
Now,
liberation!
for those of you in the audio portion of the program, obviously what they're doing is they are pounding on the vehicle as it's attempting to leave while yelling down, down with deportation and whatever else they were yelling. But anyway, she's sitting there and she's standing in front of the truck. Now, the truck itself, okay, or the vehicle, I'll say, was slowly inching forward. And the more that they inched forward, the more these people started beating on it. Okay? So that's the incident. That is the incident at hand. Well, here's the thing. She, because obviously she's an influencer, so she's got to put her face and everything else in the screen. Here's her explanation. Let's call it. Yeah.
My name is Kat Abou-Ghazaleh. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District of Illinois, and the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Because she actually was not arrested for free speech. She was actually not arrested for hate speech. She was not arrested for protesting. What she was arrested for, and apparently in the indictment, they actually called this out, I believe, was Title 18, U.S. Code, Section 111, which is impeding an officer in their duties, a federal officer in their duties. Oh my gosh. When are these people going to learn? These morons. When are they going to learn? She is clearly a moron because of the fact that you cannot stop a federal agent from doing their lawful legal duty in enforcing the law. How often, how much more do we have to say about this? Okay? You blocked the exit of an official duty, apparently, of officers going and coming from their facility. Now, if she were standing on the sidewalk, just simply yelling at the officers, and she got in trouble, well, I would say, yeah, that's probably you were being arrested for violating your First Amendment right. But she's standing in front of the freaking vehicle. She's got even more to talk about. Here, take a listen.
And a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's
No, you broke federal law, already pre-established federal law, chickie. When will these morons ever learn? Now, she goes on. I'm not going to play the whole video because it's about 2 minutes, but she goes on and complains about the fact that she was pepperballed, pepper sprayed, whatever. She was, so on and so forth, whatever it was. I mean, where do these people get off on the idea that they can just break laws with no consequence? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot who I was talking about. This is Democrats. Democrats think that they can do that. Democrats are the ones who believe that they can do those kinds of things. Yeah. She believes it's political persecution. It's not. It's not. I'm just telling you straight up. It's not. Well, there we go. There's two morons. One who can't believe, who basically was like, don't believe your lying eyes, or don't believe your lying ears, you know, in good 1984 style. And the other thinking that, just because I'm blocking somebody from doing their jobs, I have my free speech rights to be able to block a federal officer from doing their job. Nope. You don't. And, realistically, again, like I said, if all they were doing was standing on the side of the driveway on the public sidewalk, holding up signs, screaming at them, things like that, yeah, there you go. You'd be perfectly fine. But no, you had to go and take an extra step and stand in front of a vehicle. Stand in front of a vehicle for it. And, bam, I'm just going to say, you are absolutely correct. I do need to come up with something, come up with an intro or a stinger or something like that for the Moron Files. I really should. Maybe 3 Chevy with his AI, could come up with something. So maybe 3 Chevy can come up with something AI related. I was thinking it would be kind of cool to have, not that I really want to discuss this 100%, but 3 Chevy, here's an idea for you. Taking something like, some sort of a cop show theme or whatever, and then have a file show up, have it stamped with the word moron, and then it opens up. And when the file opens up, that it allows me to take it to that would be the stinger, basically, is the file would drop down. Anyway, there's your idea. So do what you want with it, if you want to help out. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and talk for a quick, brief second. Yeah, we'll do this. For a quick, brief second, let's discuss Rumble Premium. All right. As you've probably noticed, Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech, unlike this moron that we just saw. And now there's Rumble Premium. It's an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content that you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators, including me. Well, I haven't done any of those others yet, but yeah, just, I'm one of your favorite creators. There you go. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium. Use the promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium using promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, at checkout. And you will receive $10 off an annual subscription to Rumble Premium. No ads, more freedom, and content that you actually care about. That's the deal. Go to rumble.com/premium. Use promo code STUDIO and get that $10 off when you order an annual subscription. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. Okay. So, sorry, got to get my sound effects back. Obama Yeah, I just wish he would disappear. I really do. I really just wish he would disappear. But, unfortunately, he was apparently some kind of, let's see, he was speaking at some sort of a policy forum. And, well, let's just say that he sort of said some things that kind of would make anybody who is really interested in free speech to take pause. Let's go ahead and listen to what Barack Obama wanted to say.
Part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with new forms of journalism and how do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of facts. That, I think, is one of the big tasks of social media. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints around some of these business models in a way that's consistent with the First Amendment, but that also says, look, there is a difference between these platforms letting all voices be heard versus a business model that elevates the most hateful voices or the most polarizing voices or the most dangerous in the sense of inciting violence voices. And that I think is going to be a big challenge for all of us that we're going to have to undertake.
You know, I seem to read in this wonderful thing right here called the Constitution of the United States. Let me see here. Where's the First Amendment? I'm gonna bring First Amendment here. There we go. First Amendment. Congress shall make no law, and I'm going to truncate it a little bit. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people to peaceably assemble, blah, blah, blah. Dude, that doesn't say, hey, the government can make some laws and make some regulations where, you know, the speech that you don't like doesn't or gets censored because you don't like it. Yeah. No. Oh, these Democrats, I'm just telling you, they all seem to think that we need to have some sort of government regulations on free speech. Now, just imagine. First of all, who, if anyone, who would be the monitor? Who would be the arbiter to basically say, hey, this thing is what, this thing is what is bad. This is a hate speech. This is a problem. This is, oh, wait a minute. I know who Obama wanted as the arbiter. He wanted this woman as the arbiter. You remember her?
Is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster
takes the words
and makes them sound precocious by saying them in
Congress. That's right. Nina Jankowicz.
Disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious.
Oh my
It's how
God.
you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared bad intel from Ukraine. Or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain. They're laundering disinfo and we really should take note.
Oh my God. I can only take that for just a few seconds. Talk about a complete freaking moron. This is the Nina Jankowicz who became the what was it? The what was her freaking name? Oh yes, the Disinformation Governance Board. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want George Orwell's 1984. This is it, folks. This is it. Now, yeah, they wanted that. Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? And I'm just saying, when you ever talk to a Democrat who sits there and says, you know, oh yes, freedom of speech, and then you talk about Charlie Kirk and how Charlie Kirk was gunned down in cold blood by a murderer because he dared to go into the safe spaces of the left, which has been traditionally the universities, and he dared to question their authority there, and that would be a problem. So, what do you think these arbiters of the arbiter of truth? Again, how do you know what's truth? I mean, what's truth according to the left is that you've got all kinds of things like, oh yeah, conservatives are racist, man. Conservatives are they're bigoted and they're racist. But yet the left is sitting there saying you can't have a voter ID for people because if you do, you're gonna be blocking black folks because they are not smart enough to get voter ID. Really? Yeah. Anyway, well, guess what, folks? Guess what? This has been in the works for a very long time. See, Michael Schellenberger, he broke a story. In 2022, Obama gave a speech at the Stanford Cyber Policy Center, advocating the sweeping censorship of the internet. Now, the outlet Public News, has discovered that there was a secret meeting with the European Union, UK, Brazil, and Australian officials to plot global censorship. Well, guess what? The U.S. was also at that meeting. Here's Michael Schellenberger. He posted this. This is the Public outlet. Apparently, the Obama-linked Stanford Center held a secret meeting with all these foreign governments to plot global internet censorship. Yeah. Really? Really? This is the panacea. This is what the Democrats want. They want to be able to control who says what. And believe me, as a recipient of that so-called control, because they did it through their non-governmental organizations known as the Alphabet Company and Facebook. They do this all the time. They've done it. They did it throughout COVID. This particular channel, me as a creator, I was saying truthful things about COVID vaccines, the COVID virus, the masks, how they were ineffective, and each one of those videos got taken down or censored, blocked, whatever you want to call it. I would sit in jail for a certain period of time because they said that I was saying something that was untrue, when later on we find out that it actually was true. Democrats want to destroy America, folks. They want to get rid of our wonderful Constitution. They want to get rid of they want to get rid of our freedoms. They want us to bow down to the God of government. And no, I'm not talking about Big G God. The God of government. They want us to be subservient to the elites that tell you, like John Kerry, like Bill Gates, like all these others that tell you, hey, your driving of your car, your oil-based car, is causing harm to the environment. John Kerry, who flies around on a private jet to go into Davos to give speeches on the climate alarmist regime. Yeah. All of that. That's what they're doing. Yeah. Like Coco D, insert name here, says, you mean live under a king? Absolutely. In fact, you recall Obama was like, hey, I have a pen and I have a phone. I can legislate. I can rule this country. He didn't exactly say that, but he definitely said the whole pen and a phone thing. Yeah. Biden was like, I can go ahead and write an executive order. Right. He wrote an executive order that was unconstitutional to forgive student loan debt. And he did not even have that power at all. At all. So, yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if anybody remembers, because let's face it, I mean, it was so long ago. But you remember when that little white baggie of cocaine was found at the White House? And that the cocaine, you know, they took it into evidence. They took fingerprints. They even may have gotten touch DNA off of the little glassine bag that the white powder was in, and it was confirmed to be cocaine in the Biden White House. You remember all of that? Do you remember, too, that the Biden White House, the person in charge of the Secret Service, went ahead and, like, covered it up, you know, and got rid of it, got rid of the evidence, wanted to take the evidence out? Do you remember any of that? Do you remember any of that? And it was found, by the way, not far from the Situation Room in the West Wing. Now, that Situation Room in the West Wing is one of the most secure offices and residences, because the West Wing is the residence, in the world. There's cameras all over the place. Okay? So, whoever brought it in, I mean, they're on camera, I'm just telling you. So, anyway, the Secret Service was apparently powerless in their investigative efforts to discover the culprit. Yeah. Well, apparently, one of the Secret Service folks rebelled a little bit. Yeah. And by rebelled, I mean, well, let me show you. Apparently, this entrepreneur created a challenge coin. He created a challenge coin. Now, this challenge coin, it's red. It's got a red background. It's got the white word cocaine written in cursive across the middle. awful reminiscent of Coca-Cola, which for those of you that don't know the history of Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola actually had cocaine in it when it first was released. And with the word cocaine, above it and below it is the three monkeys: hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil monkeys. And around the edge, it says the White House: see nothing, say nothing, hear nothing. Well, he had these things made out. And by the way, he started passing them out to his fellow coworkers. Here's the back of it. It's got the United States Secret Service badge on it, and it says United States Secret Service and has the White House branch written on it. Oh my gosh, he started handing this out to his fellow coworkers. He got suspended for it for an unknown amount of time, but yeah, he made all of these up. And yeah. Oh, this is fantastic. The front side says cocaine with the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil monkeys. And the back side has, of course, the United States Secret Service badge with the White House branch on it. And he handed it out to his coworkers. Oh, I thought this was just hilarious. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I don't think he really meant anything by it other than trying to lighten the mood or whatever, but yeah, and reportedly, according to my wonderful Whiskey Warrior P1s that are out there, they, of course, always keep me straight because I have the most intelligent listening audience in all of the ethosphere. 3 Chevy chimes in and says, I guess he made 100 of them. He probably paid to have them made, let's be honest. But yeah. Good job, dude. I'm sure he felt when he got suspended, I'm sure he was like, you know what? I really don't care. Oh, that would probably be something that I would do. Let's just be honest. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think Adam Schiff really felt like he was in trouble or is in trouble with this whole thing. Oh, yeah, okay. 3 Chevy, by the way, notes that was the number on the coin. If you look at the coins in the pictures, and here, let me see if I can bring that back up here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so let me bring that back up here. So you'll look here at the bottom. This looks like it's 14 of 100. So it looks like he may have made 100 of them, and they are all individually numbered. So I wonder who ended up with number 001 of 100. So, yeah, that's, yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, Adam Schiff. So Adam Schiff thinks that he may have gotten away with this entire conspiracy thing. You know, conspiracy, his Russian collusion hoax and so on and so forth. Well, apparently he's coming quickly to realize that, conspiracy doesn't have a statute of limitations? Really? Okay. So, Senator Schmidt made they were in the hearing about weaponization, and he made a comment. And he says, quote, I thought what I might do is just tell a story, and these are 100% facts. And he goes on to explain that he starts off with Hillary Clinton's campaign of cooking up Russiagate, feeding it to Barack Obama's intelligence agencies, who in turn go ahead and spy on the White House or the incoming administration. And so, yeah, he goes, he says, you know, we heard some people on this committee further that nonsense for 4 years. I wonder who he's talking about there. So then Schmidt went ahead and laid out everything that the FBI did with the Biden laptop and the censorship. Again, because again, we're talking about censorship, that started 3 days after Joe's inauguration, so on and so forth. And then he comes to the end of this. And he goes, let me be clear. There is a big difference between what happened under the Biden regime and the weaponization and then holding those people accountable. That is not weaponization. If that doesn't happen, this will happen all over again, meaning that if his holding them accountable doesn't happen, it will happen. The same kind of thing will happen again. And then he says, but he talks about how, assuming that there's an active investigation, and while the statute of limitations may have run on some of this stuff, there is no statute of limitations on conspiracy. And if you're a conspirator on mile marker 1, even if you want to get on the exit ramp at mile marker 5, you are still liable for conspiracy at mile marker 10. Wow. Yeah. So here, let me just show you. Here's a little video of it.
Instead of preventing partisan weaponization, your department has engaged in a brazenly political prosecution at the president's explicit direction. The department has become President Trump's personal sword and shield to go after his ever-growing list of political enemies and to protect himself, his allies, and associates.
I have to say, I'm struck by the degree of the cognitive dissonance that I hear on the other side. It really is. I mean, I'm used to sort of the political debates and arguing in court and all those sorts of things. But to hear the other side of the dais talk about weaponization is truly shocking, given what we know now. And I thought what I might do is just tell a story. And these are 100% facts. Hillary Clinton, concerned about her email scandal, works with a Soros organization to cook up this Russiagate nonsense. They feed it to the intelligence agencies. And they spy, under Barack Obama's presidency, they spy on the political opponent, the Republican, running against Hillary Clinton.
All right. So, anyway, I'm not going to play the whole thing because the clip is longer than I expected, but still, there's the point. So, yeah. I don't think that Shifty Schiff had a very good day with that. So, there you go. Oh, yeah. Shifty Schiff having a bad day. A very bad day. Oh, it was funny. It was funny. If you want to take a look, that's in the hot air. That's in the show notes. It's one of the hot air articles. You can go and take a look at the X account or view the whole video. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's just incredible that was even a part of it. Well, Donald Trump has directed the Pentagon to start nuclear testing once again, which is in response, I believe, to the Russia thing. But as a nod to tomorrow night, I wanted to bring up that there is actually a gravesite that has been deemed the most dangerous gravesite in America. You'll never guess where it is. It's actually in Arlington Cemetery. So let me explain to you with regards to what happened. So on January 3rd of 1961, after returning from a holiday break, there were three military operators at the U.S. Army's Stationary Low Power Reactor number 1. This is SL number 1. Prepared to resume their duties. These three men, Army Specialist John Arthur Burns, Navy CB Richard Carlton Legg, and Army Specialist 4 Richard McKinley, were tasked with overseeing a nuclear reactor that was designed to provide heat and electricity for isolated defense early warning radar stations. Now, these radar sites played a crucial role in defending the country against the threat of Soviet bombers or intercontinental ballistic missiles, and the use of the nuclear reactor was considered to be more practical and less hazardous than constantly delivering diesel fuel. However, there was a bit of a problem. And because of what they classified as poor oversight, insufficient training, and experimental technology that had not undergone rigorous testing, a disaster did occur. Shortly after 9 p.m., a sudden steam explosion erupted inside of this reactor. According to Argonne Electronics, which was the company that provides hazardous materials training, the explosion was so powerful it actually lifted the entire 26,000-pound apparatus over 9 feet in the air. The blast created 500 pounds per square inch of pressure, enough to blow the plugs off the top of the reactor and launch the control rods into the ceiling like missiles. Now, what happened essentially was that the control rods were pulled out too far, and the nuclear reactor went critical and exploded. Now, because of the remote location and, of course, the dangers involved with going with a nuclear reactor like this, it took 90 minutes for the first responders to arrive. 2 of those members, Burns and Legg, were killed instantly in the explosion. McKinley, who was just 27 years old and a veteran of the Korean War, was still alive when help arrived. However, he succumbed to his injuries soon after being taken to an ambulance. Now, this, by the way, this was in Idaho. Just saying. So Burns and Legg, though, were buried in their hometowns. McKinley, at his wife's choice, sent him to Arlington National Cemetery as the final resting place. When his family gathered there 22 days after the explosion to bury him, they were forced to witness the 8-minute funeral from a distance of 20 feet back. His casket was lined. It was a lead-lined, double lead-lined casket. It was lowered down, not the standard 6 feet, but 10 feet down into the grave and encased in concrete, surrounded by a metal vault with an additional foot of concrete poured on top. His gravesite, by the way, remains the only radioactive burial plot within Arlington National Cemetery. Now, the site itself is safe to visit, but the cemetery's files contain a clear warning. Victim of a nuclear accident, body is contaminated with long-life radioactive isotopes. Under no circumstances will the body be removed from this location without prior approval from the Atomic Energy Commission in consultation with its headquarters. And of course, because of the secrecy surrounding the Cold War, many Americans have never heard of the SL-1 tragedy. I didn't, but there you go. So, the most dangerous grave in Arlington is silent witness to a tragic accident, but also symbol of the sacrifices made in the name of progress and national security. And that is the end of tonight's show. Thank you all for joining. Remember, tomorrow is Halloween, so be safe. Be safe on your adventures tomorrow if you don't join us here. Tomorrow night, obviously, I will be on the air, but tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Don't forget, before you take off, to give me those thumbs up, thumbs downs, or, of course, the thumb sideways, if you're 3 Chevy. And have a great rest of your evening. Be safe out there trick-or-treating with all of your kids. We will see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.